Hello everyone. So today I'm going to give you a seminar on how to write a readable research article. So this is the agenda. So first we start with the problem. What is the problem with academic writing, or in other words, why I have to care about my writing if everyone everyone can write, right? And I have my papers published. Then why do I care? And then I give you some general guidelines to writing. Okay, these are the guidelines, not the rules, so you can follow them or you cannot. It's up to you. This is just some suggestions. And then I talk about all the components of a typical research article, like title, abstract, introduction, conclusion, acknowledgement and references. Maybe I don't talk much about acknowledgement and references because, okay, talk about technical details, okay, technical things like tables and figures, and how to write a paragraph, okay, because that's very important, because all the paragraphs make the entirety of the paper. Some mistakes, okay, that I I made in the past and still making because English is not my native language, so I put them in one place so that I can refer to them to avoid them. And I explain to you a writing workflow, okay? And then a little bit on lattes, my favorite weapon, and then uh, some Q&A. Okay, so if you recently have read a paper and you felt anxious, you felt that you didn't understand the paper, and then you might be thinking that because I lack the technical sophistication, my knowledge is not good enough. No, 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 no. So many papers are poorly written, okay, published paper. And this is not me saying that, okay, I don't dare to say that, but this is from Judy Swan, the Associate Director for Writing Science and Engineering from Princeton University. She said, okay, I didn't provide a source, but you can find it easily. Scientific writing is bad writing, and I completely agree. Or I even say that terrible writing. Okay, so what is the benefits if you can write clear, accessible, or readable papers? There's so many. The first is that your paper will get accepted quicker because the reviewers worked on the content, not on the not wasting time to guess what you're trying to say. And the people, the readers, will enjoy reading them, okay? And the people will learn something from them, because isn't it the idea of writing a paper? And then if so, your papers are likely to receive high citations, okay? If I read your paper and I nod along, then of course, when I write my next paper, I cite yours. If, on the other hand, I was struggling to understand, I scratch my head trying to understand something from your paper because it's buried in a poorly written text, then likely I don't hide your papers. And then with high citation, you know the game, okay? You can climb the career ladder easy, something like that. So learning to write well is an essential part of becoming a researcher, successful or not. It's an essential part of the game, okay? That you should pay attention to. So these the general guidelines that you should follow when you write a paper. The first is to inform, not to impress, okay? It's not that you have found something and you want to inform that to the world. Okay, it's not to impress, to say that okay, I am smart and the readers are stupid. Okay, don't do that. If you're smart, people know that. Okay, so everyone know that Einstein is smart. Okay, he doesn't have to make uh, to have that from his papers, and actually his papers are very uh, clearly written. Okay, so you aim for clarity and readability and reproducibility. That is three things that you aim for. And the contributions must be clearly stated, okay, in the introduction section. Okay, what did you achieve? Okay, what did you do that the others haven't done yet? This must be clearly stated. Okay, and every unit of discourse, either that a sentence, a section, an article, then only a single idea or message. Okay, of course, in a sentence, usually a single idea, but in a paragraph, usually people can have multiple ideas, and we don't know what's going on. And then avoid jargon, and then minimize the chance for the reviewers to raise issues. This is I learned because my first paper, I got 4 reviewers, and the comments are 7 page long, and I was shocked. I was shocked, and I think I couldn't sleep. And then now I realize that, and then recent papers just get accepted, either accepted or rejected. There's never a lot of comments because I minimize the chance for reviewers to raise issues, and I tell you how to do that. So clarity is more important than grammatical exactness. Sorry, you see some error typos there because I made these slides during the COVID 4 years ago, and then I exported these slides. I made them in Keynote. Okay, I'm a Mac guy, and then I uploaded the PDF to ResearchGate as always to share with the world. But then my laptop died, and then I lost the Keynote file, and then today I copy paste from the PDF to this, and then there's something there I didn't have the time to correct, but that's not very important. If you can remove a word, a sentence, a figure, an equation, or anything, do it. Okay, and explain everything. Okay, this is my philosophy. Maybe you don't agree, but that's it. So explain everything. I give you an example. So if you choose a method, explain why you choose that, not the other one. If you choose a test, an experiment, or an example, explain why. Because if you do so, you do a great favor for the newcomers to the field. Okay, they will say a big thank you. And value for the parameters, you should provide a sourcing. Where do you get that value? Okay, why that temperature is 200 Celsius degrees, for example. And if you come up with them by yourself, then explain why. Okay, why 200 Celsius degrees? Why not 300? And that is, if you follow this explain everything philosophy, then the reviewers, they don't have chance to ask stupid questions. Okay, and now you know that the reviewers in this crazy world now, they are very busy. If everything is clear, then they just say it, accept. So I give you an example here to demonstrate explain everything. Okay, so topology optimization is a method that allows blah blah blah. So this sentence is to introduce topology optimization. Okay, and then the next paragraph is saying that various techniques have been developed for topology optimization. So what I'm trying to say here is that to do topology optimization, you have many ways, and then I mention them, and then I specify why I choose one, just one, the Bezo method. Okay, yeah, do that. So the co-author, I'm just the co-author of this paper. The main author didn't do that. He just say topology optimization, and then we use Bezo method. So explaining. So okay, so now let's go to the, even though it's obvious to be complete, let's go to the structure of a research article. Of course, start with the title, then the abstract, and then the introduction, and then the method or methodology, and then the result, and then conclusion. Okay, sometimes we don't need a conclusion in some journal, but most of the time we have that session. Acknowledgement and appendices and references. So this is the typical part. And then I'm going to talk about nearly all of them. Okay. So the title. In the past, I never paid attention to the title. Who cares? But when I do this workshop, and then I did this workshop, and then I have to do some research, and then actually the title is very important because the title is the part that is read the most. Of course, that's the first thing you read, right? And then there's some statistics about the impact of the title on the citation. For example, papers with short titles got more citations. Okay, so pay attention to that if you want to have higher citation. If you use question mark in a paper, then it reduces the citation. Okay, and if you use in a column, then it using a column usually you get improved citation. And don't ask me why. This is some just statistics. Okay? Yeah, and these are the sources. Okay, I don't make things up. You can read them. It's very interesting. Okay, so now if the title is important, now you should pay attention to that. Then what makes a good title? So it should indicate precisely the subject or the scope of the study. That's the first thing you have to do. And you should avoid using abbreviations and do not include study of, an analysis of, or similar constructions because they are redundant. Okay. Of course, every work is study of something or an analysis of something. So here I took the titles from some published papers, not randomly from my field. And then if I see something wrong there, I rewrite them. Okay, so you see. So this is the first title paper is published in a not yes, a good journal. An efficient and robust state gate algorithm applied to the quasi-static description of brittle fracture by a phase field approach. This is, to me, is terrible. Yes, is against the statistics that long papers get lower citation, right? So, if I were the author of this paper, this is what I would write. An efficient and robust staggered genre for phase field model of quasi-static brittle fracture. Okay, and I can do this rewriting without understanding anything about this word. Just search for the word and make it compact, make it concise. You see, every keywords are there. I just removed the the irrelevant words. This is another title. Is this to the rule of short titles? Is general mesh method, and even using the two dots, what is that, semicolon or whatever, doesn't matter. A unified numerical scheme. Okay, it looks good, but it's not good because it's too vague. Okay, numerical scheme for what? Okay, and then you have to read the abstract and maybe even the then you know, this is for that, for that. No, I don't want to guess. Okay, because it should be, the title should be a concise summary of everything. So this is how I would write. Zero mesh method, double dot, a unified numerical scheme for fluid dynamics problems. Okay, that's it. Does it a scheme apply for solid mechanics? We're not sure. Okay, so the second title is this good. Okay, now move to the abstract. This is the most important section of the paper, right? Because after I glance through or the editor in chief glance through the title, they move to he or she moves to the abstract, right? This is the first section that is read by journal editors, okay? And once the paper has been published, it is the first section that is read by the readers. Of course, I don't go to the technical part because it's difficult, okay? This is just some tests. And in many cases, it's the only section of the paper that will ever be read, okay? So that's why pay attention to the abstract. So the idea is to write the paper first, okay? And then the abstract is the final part, okay? Even though the abstract is the first part, but we write at the end. Because why? Because the abstract is a concise summary of your paper, and you only can have a summary of what you have done if you have finished the paper. Okay, so write the paper and then the abstract. It should include, in my opinion, the background, okay, the gaps, methodology, and the results. Okay, and in not so many sentences. Okay, because we cannot have a very long abstract. So this why writing this is hard, and you have to really understand about the paper. Of course, it's your paper, but then you can write it. So I give you an example. Of course, it's from my paper. I'm not claiming that it is the best, but at least it's make clear what is the problem, what is the gaps, what is the method, and what is the result. Okay, so I introduce with the first sentence to introduce the problem. So the problem is the fracture of hyperelastic materials. Okay, that is the problem. And then how to solve that problem is uh, the second sentence is for that. You can do theoretical investigation, you can do experimental investigation, but no, I do computational simulation. So I do computational simulation. And within that team, you have many ways, right? You have many theories, many models. So I even narrow down that I use phase field models. So the second sentence is one bullet, but two birds, or one stone aiming two birds or something. That we do computational modeling with phase field to handle this, to tackle this problem of fracture of hyperelastic materials. Okay, and next sentence I explain why I select face view. Okay, some people do that, some people don't, but I want to justify the. And then the third sentence, however, here, I don't see if you see the pointer, but the sentence in underlined. This is to talk about the gap. What's wrong with the previous face field models? Here the word is previous, not existing. Existing is wrong because your paper is existing as well. So it should be before your paper. So previous. Previous has this problem. Okay. Then this paper now you talk about your paper. And this paper present something. Okay. And the results. That's the that is the abstract. Okay, let's move to the introduction. If I go quickly, then you have the slides. I shared it on ResearchGate. It's even uh, more extensive than the new slides, so don't worry. Introduction. What should we put in there? So we should state the problem domain. For example, it is quantum mechanics or general relativity, theory of relativity, or just classical mechanics, for example. Okay, so first to say that, or is this biology, something like that, and then state the specific problem. Okay, that the paper is solving. So within quantum mechanics, what you do inside, or within mechanics, what you do. Okay, mechanics, you have solid mechanics, fluid mechanics, biomechanics. So now you narrow down that, and then you have to demonstrate the importance of the problem, because if the problem is not important, who cares? Okay, the editors say that, oh, this is nothing, then he doesn't let it go through the review process. So you have to demonstrate the importance of the problem, and then you say the current approach is to solving this problem, what people have done to solve this problem, and then what's wrong about these approaches. That's where you can come in, and then you say what are the contribution of the paper. Okay, so we do this, and then we found this. Okay, and then something like that, and then you plan the readers for the subsequent sessions. Okay, so that's in my opinion, that's how the introduction session is written. Okay, of course many fields they might have different style. Okay, so but in my field, that's how we do that. So I give you an example. uh, I forgot the name of the author, but I think the author is Native American, and I like it, so that's why I put it here. So let's see how he wrote the introduction. Material hardness values are often blah 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 blah. So this paper is about material hardness. That's why he started with material hardness. Very good. And second sentence is to explain how to obtain the material hardness values. Okay? So that's a wire hardness test. Okay? However, okay, despite, you see, the fact that various type hardness testing have been conducted, a fundamental theoretical understanding of the test is lacking. Okay? So this is the gap in the field. And then, having introduced the gap, he provides his solution, that is computation mechanics technique. And okay, so the goal, and then he mentioned that. Okay, so he gradually leads to his approach is computation mechanics, and then finally he concludes the numerically modeling Numerically model in Bruno and Rockwell harness testing of method is the topic of the paper. Well, so that's is very good. That is how he started his paper. And what I found, at least in my field, is that in the introduction, usually just a bunch of tests, usually no equation and especially no figure. But recently, I have read the literature from computer graphics, okay, because these people are very smart. I would like to learn from them. And then I saw something remarkable. They put some nice images there in the introduction. And now I realize, yeah, that should be because this is to hook the reader to continue. So I suggest you can do something similar. Okay, so you can put a picture with very impressive results you have there, of course, with nice graphics. If they ugly, then of course you hide them in the introduction to attract the attention of the reader. Okay, and I found a, how to say, an introduction given by Oprah Winfrey. Oprah, yeah, the black, the famous lady, and the way she taught is a remarkable example of how to write an introduction. And then, if you can write an introduction like that, is perfect. Okay, so I show you the video. That is to me is amazing. You see, simple language, and it summarizes everything. Yeah, if I can write anything using this style, oh, I would love to do that. Okay, so now the conclusion. Okay, so people also often read the conclusions directly after the abstract. Usually I do because I want to read the easy parts first. So I read conclusion to see that it really can do something that I cannot. Okay, so I want to see that. The mistake here is, or the idea here is try not to repeat the abstract. So in the past, I just took the abstract and then I changed from the present tense, right, to simple to present perfect. Yeah, I put, for example, in the abstract, we do, and then in the conclusion, we have done. Okay, I think I learned that from some papers, and then no, why you do that? It's just the same as the abstract. Then why you say no, don't do that? Okay, you can do something better than that. That's why some journal entirely skip the conclusion section. Okay, you should instead highlight the most significant things. Okay, and state the limitations and issues. That's it. So I give you an example, of course, again from my paper. So I start the conclusion with the sentence, we have presented a new method. Okay. So just in one sentence, uh, I summarized everything we did. Okay. in the paper. And then the next is, you see, a list of the key highlights. So what are the attributes of the method that we introduced? Seamless enforcement, blah, 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 seamless treatment, blah, blah, blah. Make it clearly like this, bullet points like that. Okay, so first sentence say what you did. Second sentence, or maybe next sentence say what are the good things about what you did. And then have to be honest, because research is an ongoing process. So you have to say that, and also to say that you are modest. Again, we love modesty. Okay, so although some good results were obtained, there are many issues. Blah 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 blah. Okay, yeah, that's okay. Let's talk about tables. What's there to talk about? You might be asking. Actually, a lot. Tables should be clear and focus on the data, okay? On the data, not on the vertical and horizontal rooms or lines that Microsoft Word provided us, okay? These are not the focus. The focus is the data. Table is for the data. So that's why avoid vertical lines, absolutely. And of course, you need horizontal lines, but avoid double horizontal lines. Why need double horizontal lines? Avoid boxing up cells. They feel very, how to say, I don't know. And leave enough space between the rows. I give you. This is, in my opinion, a good table. Okay. In your opinion, it might be different, but that is in my. You don't see vertical lines. You don't see double lines. You just see the data, and there's general space between the rows. So, okay, so that's tables. How about the figures? Um, I pay attention to figures a lot. Okay, I don't know why. A high quality figure is with a legible font size, mm, because I see so many figures in which the font is too small and cannot see anything. Okay, if you can do it, make the font matching the font in the test, but at least the font size should be big. The figure should be high resolution. The best is PDF vector image. Okay. Recently, we have a problem with color blindness awareness. Yeah, because some people cannot distinguish between red and green. Okay. All the axes are clearly defined, of course, but oh, and there's the tools that you can use to make these figures. Okay, you can use MATLAB or Matplotlib, okay, to make graphs. Mm, I don't want to use MATLAB because, of course, if you work in a university, it's free, but it's very heavy. It's too heavy. Okay, so Matplotlib is Python. It's light and it's easy. Or you can use Julia. Now I stop using MATLAB. For the sketches, right? In the past, I use Adobe Illustrator because it's I think the best that images up, but I no longer have access to it due to COVID. So I move now to this and asymptote. And thank for that. Using this and asymptote, you have to code to make figures. Okay, so it was pain in the ass initially, but after that period, it's amazing. Okay, I cannot live without this and asymptote. Okay, so that's how to have good figures? What are the tools to produce them? The next question is how to cite a figure. Thing that I never thought of in the past. Okay, I have a figure, I just saw it. What's wrong with that? This is the problem. So in the paper you have figure like this cute cat, and then of course you have a caption, right? Figure one, this is cat. The problem is in the test. This is how I see, and it's also how I did, and also how my supervisor did, including Stefan Bodas. Okay, a cat is given in figure one dot as can be seen. Oh, I see this so many times. This phrase, as can be seen, as can be seen. It has two eyes. What's wrong with this way of referring to a figure? The- there are two issues. The first is that the sentence a cat is given in figure one is irrelevant. Of course, I already saw the figure one. I know a cat is there, so you don't need that. The second is that if you do this style, you will have many as can be seen, and then it's boring. Okay, so forget that. Just write this. A cat has two eyes and open bracket, figure one, close bracket. That's it. Okay. Or sometimes you can miss them. You can use the first style once in a in one place only. Okay, in the paper, and then use the second style. I learned this from reading Richard Feynman's book. Okay, I talk about that later. At least I get rid of as can be seen phrase. Another point I want to mention is that the global paragraph for long session. So assume that session 4 here, numerical discretization whatsoever, doesn't matter. It's a very long paragraph, maybe 2 pages long, 2 page long, or more. And then many people they don't have this blue paragraph. They just from 4 they go directly to the subsection 4.1, 4.2. And then it's really hard to follow. Okay, so it's good to take the hands of the readers, okay, and then guide them through the paper. So you should have a global paragraph for long session there in which you say this is what we want to achieve, and to achieve that we do this, and then open bracket session 4.1, and then we do that session 4.2. Then before reading into the technical details with a lot of data and equation, they know at least they know the idea. Okay, and then this is also a mistake, not very common, but still, especially paper written from Asia, that they start a section with a figure, a table, or an equation like this one. Okay, section number 2, blah blah blah, and then start with a figure, and then with a test. Okay, no, don't do that. Okay? Don't do that. Then the session, the title, and then the test. After that, you can put anything, but don't start a session with figure, table, equation. Okay, now we come into a very important part, is how to write a paragraph. Okay, because the paper is built upon by these paragraphs, so you should pay attention to that. And the key idea is flow, like flow in the traffic flow, like water flows. Okay? Because if you can make the flow, then the reading is less uh, is easier for the readers. Okay, so this is I took from a researcher from computer science, he should be very good at writing because he gave a talk about writing at Microsoft, but I forgot his name, sorry. Oh, this is how he wrote a paragraph. Security proofs, blah, 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 dot. However, these proofs, okay, even though I still have no idea security proofs, what are security proofs, but the second sentence, these proofs, then I know, these proofs are the security proofs. Tend to be complex and difficult to get right. To make it easier to manage such proofs, I still understand, okay, security proofs. John, his name is John, have proposed a new design principle called game playing technique. Still, I don't know what is this game playing technique, but I read the next sentence, this technique. Oh, I know this. This is a game playing technique. You see? Even though after I read this, I have no ideas because it's computer science, but I can follow. So the principle is to have flow in a paragraph is to start your sentence with the old information, okay, and end with the new information. Okay, so see the first sentence starts with security proofs. We don't know it, right? So it's new. Second sentence, these proofs, this is old, okay, and then follow that. Okay, so to give you an example that of a paragraph that doesn't follow this principle. Okay, so I took this from a published paper from my field from Utah University, and no, I have deep respect for the researchers in of the paper, but I think the first author is Iranian and he didn't pay attention to that. That's the only thing. Okay, so they start paragraph with the sentence, the NPM is blah, blah, blah. Okay, that is to introduce the NPM. NPM is new at the beginning of the sentence. That's good. And then a traditional NPM implement, blah, blah. It's okay. Okay, the first and the second NPM is already introduced, so okay. And then the next sentence is weird for me. And then is the generalized interpolation material point method is there's no connection whatsoever, no flow between this sentence and the previous two sentences. That is for me is the problem. And then after that, and then npm and GIMP have been blah 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 blah. And then in the now he explains what's the npm. Blah, blah. That's for me so many problems there, no flow, and this is too long paragraph. Okay? If I was the author, this is what I would do. So I would start the same sentence, okay, the npm is, and then I continue with explaining, okay, what is the npm. Okay, so in the npm we do that, blah blah blah. Okay, and then only then when I'm already done with the npm, I introduce the GIMP. Okay, so actually I just made two paragraphs from one paragraph, and that's why it's easy. Okay, so in this paragraph I just talk about npm. It's easy. In this I just talk about GIMP. Okay, so and of course I follow that new information. What is the uh, what is the key there? New information at the end. Yeah, you can see here. So npm is new here, and then I start with the old information, right? npm already introduced. You see, crossing instability. So I have this instability. Okay, so I follow that principle. I had mentioned that we should make the contributions clearly, okay, and I follow that nearly completely in my papers. So this is uh, Tusha Mander, my PhD student, wrote in one of the papers. In this paper, we present the following contributions. So he followed my advices. That's why I love him. Okay, because some students they don't listen to the supervisors. They are very stubborn, and to be honest, we don't like that. So, got a unified for blah blah, a semi-analytical, almost the first order. You see, that's something weird. If you read out loud, you see something weird. And this is the problem. Yes, it's very small. If you want to have a good paper, you have to pay attention to the details. That's always the case. Okay. Even if you the success of Apple or the Mac is that even the board, okay, the electric board inside a Mac is beautifully arranged or organized there because Steve Jobs pay attention to small details. This is how you should do using parallel structures. Okay. In this paper, we spend the following contribution: a unified, blah blah, a semi, blah blah, a comparison, okay. You follow that, and then you see that it has the very nice effect. I don't know what the effect, but it's feel natural. Okay. So, and then we all know of the famous "I have a dream" speech of Dr. Martin Luther King, right? I have a dream that one day this nation will blah 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 blah. I have a dream that one day blah blah blah, and then I have a dream that one day. You see exactly this is a parallel structure, and it has a powerful effect. So I give you some example. It's also for me because I don't use parallel structure a lot. Okay, so we hope to increase the response and to improve survival. So here's to increase and to improve. So this is correct, parallel structure. Second sentence, if you want to be a good doctor, you must study hard, critically think about the medical literature, and you should be a good listener. No, this is wrong. Okay, because study hard is verb and then adverb. Critically critically think is also okay or less, but you should be a good listener is a sentence. So this is how you should write it. If you want to be a good doctor, I think there should be a comma here. Sorry about that. You must study hard, listen well, and think critically. You see, here now it's perfect. Study hard, verb adverb, listen well, verb adverb, and think critically, verb adverb. Perfect. Of course, you can change it. If you want to be a good doctor, you must be a good student, a good listener, and a critical thinker. Okay, now you use now, and now. Okay, the idea here is to be consistent. That's it. What I'm going to say here is a big problem for me is the the article, the when to use and when not to use. Okay, this is for me is hard. And I don't claim that I completely knew this. My idea is to read out loud, and if it feels unnatural, remove it. But now, if you have ChatGPT nowadays, so easy, right? Just put in ChatGPT. I forget. Then I even don't have to have this workshop with ChatGPT. Okay, so here, red is wrong because tensile membrane structures is new. Okay, this is the first paragraph about tensile membrane structures. They are not yet defined. So the here should be gone. Okay, something like that. The next is more important. Passive or active voice. Okay. Different people have different opinions. I'm not forcing you to use this or that. I just want to share what I feel is good. Okay, so let's see how the literature is written. Literature review is written in this. Actually, this is a book, but it's the same thing. Okay, let's see. Although dynamics is a subject, it was originally a branch of physics. That's good. So introduce dynamics. The subject, okay, of course, dynamics. That's good. We have a flow here. Begin in the mid of law when Newton invented differential equation. You can see active voice. Okay, because we emphasize that it was Newton who invented differential equation. Okay, because we want to emphasize the contribution of Newton. That's good. Discover his law of motion, universal gravitation, blah blah blah. And then he continued. The breakthrough came with the work of Poincaré in the late. Okay, so this is introduce the time, and then he introduced, of course, Poincaré introduced again active voice because this is to raise to emphasize Poincaré. Okay, the invention of a high-speed computer in the 1950s was watershed in the history of dynamics. Such experiments, okay, I omitted some sentences here. That's why you didn't see the flow, but don't worry. This text is, for me, is perfectly written. It's very a pleasure reading this. Okay, so experiments led to Lorentz discovery in 1963 of chaotic motion. He studied a simpler theory. Lorentz found that, you see, active again. This is from Nonlinear Dynamics and Chaos of my favorite author, Stephen Strogash, from Cornell University. He's an applied mathematician, but he writes beautifully. Okay, so as you can see, I now prefer active voice when I can, okay, and reduce the boring passive voice as much as I can. A theory was discovered by blah blah blah. It's long and it's boring. Why don't I say Mobile showed solved this problem, right? Even my brother put him in the spotlight. Yeah, but what is happening? Okay, let's go back now to what's very important is writing flow. This is the inefficient way. The inefficient way of writing is to do everything and then write at the end. Okay, for example, you do on the formulation, the theory, the experiments, you gather, you collected all the results, and then you sit down and then you write. No, I don't do that. Maybe it works for you, but no, I don't do that. This is how I do. Okay, I don't have any order. Okay, so everything is more or less random. Okay. So when I do the equations, I can do the writing, and when I do the writing, I can move the coding, and when I do the coding, I can move to. I don't have any random. Okay, it depends on my mood, and it also applies to the writing. I don't write from this order. Okay, from title, abstract, introduction, method, transition, conclusion. No, 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 no. I'd write where I can. Okay, if I'm writing at the introduction and I'm stuck, then I move to what a place where I can be productive because I don't want to be in the down mood. Okay, doing a PhD is a difficult thing. Okay, it's very easily to get depressed. Okay, so why we add more depressed to our life? Okay, if I cannot write the introduction, I write the acknowledgement because it's easy. I write the references because it's easy. That's it. That's so right from the beginning. Okay, when stuck, move to other parts or do something else. Walking is very good. Okay, walking. All the big scientists love walking, and it's not a coincidence. Okay, walking is so good. And then if you do this, if you follow this right from the beginning, when stuck, move to the other part, so you never get stuck. And then usually you get the first draft when the last experiment or simulation is done. That is usually I have. And don't worry about the land, okay? Even though you write in a paper, but eventually it's a paper, it can be a report, a book, or whatever. So just write, and no order. Okay? Write whatever part you feel like to. Oops, or you repeat this. Sorry about that. So I give you an example. Okay. This is a paper to show. Look, this, I love this guy because he followed the writing suggestions. So this is the paper he wrote. You see, we have the title, we have all the authors, very nice, but the abstract there's nothing there because he didn't finish the paper. How can he write the abstract? And then the introduction is still incomplete. Okay, but it's something there. And then if you move to the math part, it's still incomplete. It's something there. That's yeah. So why he formulating the theory, what he's doing the coding, is have this part. Okay, that's how we do it. There are some mistakes. Okay, so on the left column is don't do or avoid, and on the column second right column is do. I think I don't have to explain that. Just do that. For example, due to the fact that, oh, in the past, I love this because it's like that I'm very good at English. That's why I can use it. But now, now just because. And maybe I use due to the fact why only because if because too many because that's also not good. But it should be noted that there are 5 samples in the study. Oh, it's so formal. It's so I don't know, but it's boring. This study consists of 5 samples. In order to no, I that. Okay, and this is also some mistakes that you avoid. Now, this is important. Writing well is not either you're born with it or you without it. Okay? No. Writing well is like any other skill, can be learned. Okay? Why I say that? Not only because of me. Okay, I was terrible with writing, at least in the lớp văn literature class in high school, always 5 marks all the time. But now people say that I write well. So I learned, but maybe I know one, but Benjamin Franklin, okay, he learned and became an excellent writer. So very simple. You just mimic the writing of your favorite researcher. That's it. For example, if you from computation mechanics just took the paper of Tess Belisco and see how he writes things and learn from that. See, if you from other field, just took the researcher that you admire and mimic. Oh, sorry. Mimic the writing style of your favorite author. Okay, so like yeah, and read a lot. Okay, of course, not only content but also the writing. Okay, so when I do the reading, I first time is content, and then the second time for the writing, if I see some nice sentences, and then I copy them. Okay, and learn from them. Read papers from different field. You see, because I read papers from computer graphics, now I know one trick to put images in the introduction. Okay, because yeah, you should read papers from different field. As a practice, you can rewrite your published papers until you're satisfied. It's not stupid. Okay, you do it. It's good for you. Write a lot. Okay, so who to mimic the writing? Okay, for me, I read, I learned the writing a lot from Stephen Stroger's and Richard Feynman. Okay, so this you can get these two books, Nonlinear Dynamics and Chaos, and the Feynman Lecture on Physics. Should be volume one because the other volumes, the contents are difficult. So this is not to learn physics or to learn dynamics and chaos. No, this is to learn how to write. Okay, and you take a part like volume one of Feynman. You take a part on the harmonic oscillator. That is simple from the physics point of view. The content is simple, and you see how he writes, how he put the tables, he put how he refers to the figure, how he do the reasoning, and then you learn from that. It's just that's it. And who else can we learn? You can learn from the writers, like the writer like who wrote Harry Potter, uh, J.K. Rowling. You can learn from that. Okay, I'm not a friend of hers, so I didn't have a chance to see what he's doing when she's writing. But lucky I watched as good at it. Yes, and here, what else? Here's this guy. I love him, but now I forget his name. But he's the writer, so we can learn from him. Oh, why the video doesn't work? So what I'll read out loud. Okay, so when you write, maybe at the check-in step, okay, read it out loud. And if you see something unnatural, there's something wrong there. And if you pause, put a comma there. Okay, usually is correct. Okay. Nicholson. This is the guy that I love this guy. Okay. So now a little bit about LaTeX. Of course, you write papers now either using LaTeX or Microsoft Word, right? That's it. There's typist, but it's too new. Anyway, so you look at this statistics, mathematics, use LaTeX nearly 100%. Oh, I love mathematicians. Statistics and probably also very good. Physics, only 74% for me is engineering, only 1%. Whatever you do, give it a chance, okay? Is it open source? So it's free. It's created by scientists for scientists, okay? Microsoft is created by I don't know who and for clerks, for secretaries, okay? And you are scientists, it should be better. Using LaTeX, you don't have to worry about format, okay? You focus only on the content, so it will be fast, extremely fast. Believe me, I wrote 3 books, so I know that. You have the final high quality PDF, beautiful equations, and you can even automate the writing, okay? And it's good for very large project like books, okay? How to do that? If you want to do that, you will know how to do that. So this is I just want to show you, okay? I don't want to show how, but okay, that's nearly everything. So the take-home message is about how to write a readable article is identify the selling point of your paper. Okay, it should have at least one selling point, and then explicitly state the selling point, okay, or the contributions. Use simple and direct language. Okay, if you're still not clear, then watch the, the speech of Oprah Winfrey. Oprah that introduces the leading actress on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, and then now she in the same category with Meryl Streep. Oh, that's this. It's excellent. Clarity is more important than grammatical exactness. Okay, you don't. No one cares about grammatical exactness. 100%. Who cares? Okay? If the wording is clear, the scientific content is good. Who cares about the exact position of a dot or a column? And it should have high resolution graphics with a big font size. And don't lose your reader, okay? Always the idea first and the data, the method, the result second. So explain the idea. So I do this, and then the data. Plan the reading. For example, you have global paragraph for long sessions. Explain everything. Provide all data required to reproduce your results. Take home message number 2 is to write early. Okay, write a lot. Okay, so this some people might do not complain, but if you really want to write well and you're not born with that, then the only thing you can do is write a lot. Learn something new, write about it. Okay, it's a very good way because not only you can consolidate your understanding, but at the same time you improve your writing skill, and at the same time you have something, and you never know. Okay, I do this all the time, and now that's why I can have 3 books. Okay, you never know. Read a lot. Okay, read a lot, and especially read books and papers from fields far from yours as far as possible. Because if you just read paper from your field, then they are most they are more or less written in the same style, and what you can learn from that. Okay, you don't have chance to widen your eyes. That's everything. I think that's everything. So that's it. If you have any questions, you can email or Facebook me anytime. Okay.